Okay, so number 7 says to solve each equation with all three methods to prove that all three provide the same solution. So you need to do quadratic formula, factoring, and completing the square on number 7, all three. Okay? All right, so let's start with the quadratic formula, okay? So x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, okay? So we need to figure out that 1 is a, 4 is b, and negative 5 is c. So we're going to do x equals negative b, so negative 4 plus or minus square root b, which is 4, squared. Now back up here to the formula, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 5, and that's going to be all over 2 times 1. All right, so now we need to simplify each piece. So we're going to simplify this piece, and then we're going to simplify this piece, and then this piece, and then this piece. So we have x equals negative 4 plus or minus square root. 4 squared is 16. Minus 4 times 1 times negative 5 is a negative 20. And because I have a negative negative, I put it in parentheses again just to make it clear what's going on here. And then 2 times 1 is 2. So we have to once again simplify this again. So 16 minus negative 20 is the same thing as 16 plus 20. So we're going to say x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 36 all over 2. All right, and then we should have our list of perfect squares. And we can see on our list of perfect squares that 36 is a perfect square. So we know this is just 6. That is 6. So we can just say now we have 2 different things. I want to break this into 2 different things because it's not going to have a square root anymore. I'm going to go ahead and break it into 2 different answers because I have my plus answer and my minus answer. So negative 4 plus 6 divided by 2 and negative 4 minus 6 divided by 2. So here, if I do negative 4 plus 6, I'm just simplifying this part right here. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2 divided by 2, so x equals 1. And then we have negative 4 minus 6. I've got negative 10 divided by 2, and so I've got x equals negative 5. So I have 2 different answers here. So now I'm just going to kind of draw a little line here. I'm done with my quadratic formula. I'm going to now try factoring. Okay, so I'm going to do a times c, so 1 times negative 5. And I'm just going to put that right here. I've got negative 5. And what are my factors of negative 5 that add up to 4? We need it to equal 4. So you guys can probably do this in your head, but just so that we're practicing using the calculator in case you need it, negative 5 divided by x, and go to your table. And we need it to equal negative 5, but it's going to equal a positive. So I'm going to go up to the negatives first because that's where it's most likely to be, because that's where it's going to, the positive numbers are going to be bigger than the negative numbers to start. So I went up to negative 1 and 5. And when I add that, I get a positive 4, so that's what I want. So I'm going to write it b plus negative 1, same thing as minus 1, and b plus 5 equals 0. And then next step is to divide by a. This is optional in this problem because it's 1. You don't have to divide by 1 because when you go to the next step and you simplify, you're going to end up right with the same thing again. Okay? You're end up right back where you were when you simplify. You don't need a bottoms up on this one. So then you're just ready to solve it, and we know that one of these factors has to be 0. So we're going to try putting both of them equal to 0 and then solve. So we got b is 1. I'm sorry, I used x up here and I'm using b down here, but that's the same thing. So we got the same answers. 1 and -5. So we know we're doing it right. So finally, we need to do it by completing the square. So 1, we got b squared, we'll rewrite the problem, plus 4b minus 5 equals 0. And to complete the square, we need to add 5 to both sides because we need a spot to put our square. So b squared plus 4b equals 5. And remember, for our squared, we got b divided by 2 squared. So that's going to be 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So we're going to add 4 to both sides here. I'm going to rewrite it. Okay. And then we're going to say what are our factors, but remember we're always going to use this number, so I'm going to skip straight to that. So b plus 2 squared equals 9. Square root both sides. These are going to cross off. And these are going to, remember, whenever we use a square root, it's plus or minus. So we have here, we have b plus 2. And what is the square root of 9 here? It is 3. Equals plus or minus 3, okay? We're going to minus 2 to both sides. So b equals -2 plus or minus 3. And so we're going to divide that into 2, just like we did up here. So we have b equals -2 plus 3. And so then we end up with b equals 1. And then we have b equals -2 minus 3. And so we end up with b equals -5. So we got the same answer through all 3 methods.